Every night, Marcus Aurelius performed a ritual that separated him from ordinary men. While emperors drowned in wine and soldiers collapsed from exhaustion, he sat alone with a single question that would forge the greatest mind Rome ever knew. Tonight, you'll learn the warrior's method that transforms your day from scattered chaos into disciplined progress. This isn't journaling, this isn't meditation, this is the Stoic practice that builds unshakable character, one night at a time. By the end of this training, you'll possess the exact framework used by history's most disciplined minds to process, improve, and dominate their inner world. The weak collapse into sleep, the warrior reviews, refines, and returns stronger. Let's begin. Introduction: the forgotten practice. In the chaos of modern warfare, whether you're fighting in the marketplace, the gym, or your own mind, most people make a fatal mistake. They live their days on autopilot, repeating the same errors, stumbling through the same weaknesses, never truly evolving. The ancient Stoics understood something profound. The unexamined day is a wasted day. They practiced what the Greeks called ethnologia, the evening review. This wasn't mere reflection, it was psychological combat training. Seneca wrote to his friend Lucilius, "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by." Think about that. The wealthiest advisor to Nero, a man who could have spent his evenings in any luxury imaginable, chose instead to interrogate his own soul. Why? Because he understood the warrior's truth. Your greatest enemy isn't external. It's the undisciplined version of yourself that emerges when you're not paying attention. Part 1. The Stoic Framework for Nightly Review. The nightly review isn't random rumination, it's a structured interrogation. The Stoics developed a systematic approach, and we're going to break it down into 4 core movements. Movement 1. The chronological scan. Start from the moment you woke. Don't judge yet, simply reconstruct. When did you wake? What was your first thought? Your first action? Walk through your day like a general reviewing battle footage. Epictetus taught his students to treat every moment as data. The morning alarm, did you dominate it or did it dominate you? The breakfast choice, was it fuel or comfort? The conversation with your colleague, did you respond from strength or react from ego? Most people never do this. They collapse into sleep with their day as a blur, then wonder why they keep making the same mistakes. The warrior sees clearly. Chronicle every hour. What happened? Who did you encounter? What decisions did you make? This isn't about memory, it's about awareness. You're training your mind to operate as a witness, to step outside the emotional current of the day and see with clarity. Movement 2. The Virtue Assessment. Now comes the blade. For each major event you've chronicled, ask, did I act according to virtue? The Stoics identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These aren't abstract ideals, they're operational standards. Wisdom. Did you see things as they truly were, or through the distortion of desire and fear? When your coworker criticized your work, did you hear the feedback or only the threat to your ego? Justice. Did you give each person and situation what it deserved? Did you treat the server at lunch with the same respect as your boss? Did you honor your commitments, especially the small ones no one was watching? Courage. Did you face what needed facing, or did you retreat into comfort? Did you have the difficult conversation, make the uncomfortable decision, hold the boundary that needed holding? Temperance. Did you maintain control, or did you indulge?
the extra scroll through social media, the harsh word you didn't need to say, the compromise on your training schedule. These are the battles of temperance. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." The nightly review is where you measure that truth. Write this down. Where did I align with virtue today? Where did I fall short? Be specific. I was impatient means nothing. I interrupted my partner twice during dinner because I prioritized being right over being present. That's useful data.
Movement 3. The error analysis. Here's where warriors separate from pretenders. Most people defend their mistakes. Warriors study them. Seneca's approach was surgical. I make use of this opportunity and prosecute myself as my own attorney. Notice that language, prosecute, not excuse, not explain away, but prosecute. Identify your 3 biggest errors of the day, not your 3 biggest disasters, your 3 biggest deviations from your standards. These might be subtle, a moment of cowardice disguised as patience, a flash of arrogance dressed as confidence, a choice to avoid discomfort presented as being reasonable. For each error, ask 3 questions. First, what was the trigger? What circumstances, people, or internal states preceded this mistake? You woke up tired, that's a factor. You skipped your morning routine, that's relevant. You were hungry, rushed, or operating from ego, document it. The Stoics believed in understanding causation without using it as an excuse. Yes, you were tired. That explains the mistake, but doesn't justify it. A warrior operates effectively even in degraded conditions. Second, what was the real cost? Not the obvious cost, the hidden one. You skipped your workout. The obvious cost is one missed training session. The real cost is the erosion of self-trust, the negotiation you just opened with discipline, the message you sent to your future self that commitments are optional. Most people underestimate costs because they only count immediate consequences. The warrior thinks in compound effects. Third, what's the correction protocol? If this trigger appears again, and it will, what's your countermove? Be specific. I'll be more disciplined is useless. If I wake up tired, I'll do a shorter workout instead of skipping it entirely is a protocol. This is how you evolve, not through vague intentions, but through specific corrections uploaded into your operating system. Movement 4, the gratitude inventory. Now, after the assessment and the correction comes an essential counterbalance, gratitude, but not the shallow kind, Stoic gratitude. Marcus Aurelius would list what he was grateful for, but notice his approach. He didn't just list good things that happened, he found lessons in the difficult things. He was grateful for the people who challenged him because they taught him patience, grateful for obstacles because they revealed his weaknesses. This isn't toxic positivity, it's tactical appreciation. You're training your mind to extract value from everything, pleasure and pain, success and failure, praise and criticism. List 3 things from today worthy of gratitude. At least one should be a difficulty that taught you something. I'm grateful my presentation was criticized because it showed me I was more invested in looking good than communicating clearly. This recalibrates your system. It prevents the review from becoming a self-flagellation session. You're not cataloging failures, you're extracting wisdom from the entire spectrum of experience. Part 2. The practical execution. Theory is nothing without application. Here's how to actually implement this practice. The sacred time. Choose your moment. The Stoics did this before sleep, and there's wisdom in that timing. Your day is complete. You have data. You're not in reactive mode anymore. But here's what matters more than the specific time: consistency. This practice done poorly every night builds more character than done perfectly once a week. The warrior chooses reliability over perfection. Set a non-negotiable window. 15 minutes minimum, 30 is better. This is not time you find, it's time you claim. If you have time to scroll before bed, you have time to review. The physical setup. Create a space that signals importance. The Stoics didn't have smartphones lighting up their faces. You shouldn't either. This practice requires a level of presence that technology destroys. Paper and pen. There's something about writing by hand that engages your mind differently. The friction of pen on paper slows you down, forces you to think before you write. Digital notes are fine for capturing information. This isn't information, it's transformation. Some warriors use a dedicated notebook only for their nightly reviews. Over time, it becomes a record of their evolution. You can track patterns across weeks and months. You see the same errors appearing until suddenly they don't. You watch yourself grow. The question sequence. Here's your operational framework. Copy this down. Use it tonight. 1. What happened today? Chronicle the major events without judgment. 2. Where did I act with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance? Be specific. 3. Where did I fall short? What were my top 3 errors? 4. For each error, what triggered it? What did it really cost? And what's my protocol if this trigger appears again? 5. What am I grateful for, including at least one difficulty that taught me something? 6. What's the one most important improvement I'll focus on tomorrow? That's it. 6 questions, but done with depth and honesty. These 6 questions reshape your entire psychology. The honesty requirement. Here's where most people fail. They lie to themselves. They soften the edges. They explain away instead of examining clearly. Seneca said, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." But in the nightly review, it's the opposite. We imagine ourselves better than we are and suffer from the gap between that imagination and reality. Be ruthless in your honesty. No one sees this but you. This isn't confession to a priest or a post for social media. This is the mirror that reflects what you truly are, not what you wish you were. When Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events," he was writing it to himself, not to impress readers. His meditations were his nightly reviews, preserved by accident. That's why they're so powerful. They're real. Your review should have that same quality, the uncomfortable honesty of someone who knows that growth requires seeing clearly. Part 3. Advanced Applications. Once you've established the basic practice, you can deepen it. Pattern recognition. After 2 weeks of nightly reviews, read through your entries. You'll see patterns emerge. The same triggers, the same errors, the same people or situations that consistently push you off center. This is intelligence gathering. Now you can move from reactive to proactive. You stop being surprised by your own weaknesses because you've documented them. You can build specific training for your specific gaps. Maybe you notice you compromise your standards when you're hungry. That's not a character flaw, it's a biological reality. The warrior adjusts operations accordingly. You schedule important decisions after meals, not before. You carry emergency fuel. You don't white-knuckle through hunger and expect optimal performance. Or you notice that Sunday evenings trigger anxiety about the coming week. Now you can address it. Maybe you need a Sunday planning ritual. Maybe you're taking on too many commitments. Maybe you need to adjust your sleep schedule. The pattern shows you where to intervene. The comparison with self. Here's an advanced technique. At the end of each month, do a meta-review, not of your days, but of your reviews. How did this month's version of you compare to last month's version of you? Not in outcomes, in character. Were you more patient, more courageous, more disciplined? The Stoics didn't compete with others, they competed with themselves. Every day, every month, the question is the same: am I better than I was? This keeps you focused on what you control. You can't control whether you got the promotion, won the competition, or impressed the crowd. You can absolutely control whether you were more virtuous today than yesterday. The visualization component. Before you close your review, add one more step: visualization of tomorrow. You've identified what you need to improve. Now see yourself doing it. Not in vague terms, in vivid detail. You know tomorrow morning will come. You know the alarm will sound. See yourself rising immediately. See yourself moving through your morning routine with precision. You know tomorrow will bring challenges. See yourself facing them with the virtues you're building. Someone will irritate you. See yourself responding with patience. You'll be tempted to cut corners. See yourself holding your standards. This isn't wishful thinking, it's mental rehearsal. The Stoics called it premeditatio malorum, premeditation of adversity. By visualizing both challenges and your response, you're less likely to be caught off guard.
Part 4. Obstacles and Solutions. Let's address the barriers you'll face, because you will face them. Obstacle 1. I'm too tired. Of course you're tired. Everyone is tired at the end of the day. That's not the question. The question is, are you too tired to invest 15 minutes in your own evolution? The truth is, this practice gives you energy, not physical energy, clarity. And clarity is energizing. When you process your day, you release the mental load. All those unresolved moments, the mistakes you're unconsciously replaying, the lessons you're not extracting, they drain you. The review creates completion. You acknowledge what happened, extract the lesson, and release it. Many warriors report sleeping better after starting this practice because their mind isn't trying to process everything while they sleep. If you're genuinely too exhausted to write, speak your review aloud, record it on your phone, but complete it. Obstacle 2. I feel like I'm just criticizing myself. Good. That means you're being honest. But criticism without direction is just self-abuse. That's why the framework includes gratitude and forward-looking protocols. You're not reviewing your day to feel bad. You're reviewing it to get better. The discomfort of seeing your errors clearly is the price of progress. The Stoics embraced this discomfort because they understood it was temporary. The discomfort of staying the same person, making the same mistakes, living the same limited life, that's permanent. Also, notice when you're operating with virtue. The review isn't only about errors. You should be documenting your wins too. not to inflate your ego, but to reinforce effective patterns. Obstacle 3. I don't have time. This is the most common lie we tell ourselves. You don't have time? Let me ask you, how much time did you spend on social media today? How long was that conversation complaining about something you can't control? How many minutes were lost to distraction? The nightly review doesn't take time from your life, it multiplies the value of the time you have. 15 minutes of review saves you hours, days, years of repeated mistakes. And if you truly believe you don't have 15 minutes for self-improvement, then this practice is revealing something important. You don't control your time. Something else does. That's the first thing that needs to change. Obstacle 4. I keep forgetting to do it. Build the cue. The Stoics understood habit formation. Link your review to something you already do consistently. Right after you brush your teeth, right before you close your laptop, right after you set your alarm. Some warriors set a daily reminder on their phone with a specific prompt. Did I act with virtue today? The notification itself becomes part of the practice. Others place their journal in a location they can't avoid, on their pillow, on their phone charging station, anywhere that forces the decision. But ultimately, if you keep forgetting, it means you haven't prioritized it. You remember what matters to you. Make this matter.
Part 5. The compound effect. Here's what happens when you commit to the nightly review for 30 days. Week 1. You're awkward with it. The questions feel forced. You don't know what to write. You catch yourself being defensive, softening the truth. That's fine. You're establishing the habit. Consistency matters more than depth right now. Week 2, you start noticing patterns during the day. You'll be in the middle of a conversation and think, I'm going to have to write about this tonight. That awareness itself starts to change your behavior. You become more conscious because you know you'll be reviewing. Week 3, your reviews get sharper, you're more honest, you're spotting errors in real time and starting to correct them immediately instead of waiting for the evening. The practice is starting to shape the day, not just reflect it. Week 4, you begin to notice changes in your character. You're more patient, more disciplined, more aware. The people around you might not be able to articulate what's different, but they sense it. You're more present, more intentional, more grounded. And this is just the beginning. The warriors who maintain this practice for months and years describe it as the single most transformative habit they've ever built. Why? Because it creates a feedback loop. You act, you review, you adjust, you act better. Each cycle makes you more effective. Each night makes you more conscious. Each question brings you closer to the person you're capable of being. The untrained mind repeats patterns unconsciously. The warrior mind breaks patterns deliberately. Part 6. The deeper purpose. Let's go beneath the technique to the philosophy. The nightly review isn't just a productivity hack, it's a spiritual practice. And by spiritual, I don't mean religious. I mean it addresses the fundamental question of who you are and who you're becoming. The Stoics believed in living according to nature, not in the sense of trees and animals, but in the sense of human nature at its highest potential. What separates humans from other animals? The capacity for reason, for choice, for self-examination. When you do your nightly review, you're exercising the uniquely human capacity to observe yourself, judge yourself, and improve yourself. You're not just living, you're authoring your life.
Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Every night, you're examining the thoughts that shaped your day, and more importantly, you're choosing the thoughts that will shape tomorrow. This is the warrior's advantage. Other people are shaped by circumstance, by habit, by the momentum of their past. You're shaping yourself deliberately. Seneca said, "As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters." The nightly review ensures that your life is good, not in the sense of easy or comfortable, but in the sense of excellent, virtuous, lived with intention. Every day is a chapter. Most people let those chapters write themselves, full of random events and unconsidered reactions. You're writing yours with purpose.
Part 7. Integration with other practices. The nightly review becomes even more powerful when combined with other Stoic practices. Morning preparation. The Stoics believed in bookending the day, morning preparation and evening review. In the morning, you preview the day and prime yourself for virtue. You consider the challenges ahead and commit to your standards. In the evening, you review how well you executed. This creates accountability. You can't lie to yourself in the evening if you set clear intentions in the morning. The morning version of you makes commitments. The evening version of you measures whether they were kept. Negative visualization. During your evening review, practice premeditatio malorum, imagining worst-case scenarios. What could go wrong tomorrow? How would you handle it? What virtues would you need? This isn't pessimism, it's preparation. The warrior who has mentally rehearsed adversity isn't rattled when it appears. You've already fought that battle in your mind. The reality becomes just an execution of the plan. Memento mori. Remember death. The Stoics kept death in mind not to be morbid, but to maintain perspective. Your time is finite. Every day matters. Every choice shapes your character. When you're tempted to skip your review, remember, this day is gone. You'll never get it back. Either you extract its lessons or you waste it. The warrior honors time by learning from it.
Conclusion: the choice before you. Right now, you're standing at a decision point. You can close this video and return to the pattern that brought you here. Scattered days, repeated mistakes, vague intentions that never become reality. Most people will do exactly that. They'll nod along, feel temporarily motivated, and change nothing. Or you can make a different choice. Tonight, you can begin the practice that transforms scattered days into disciplined progress. You can join the lineage of warriors who understood that self-mastery isn't a gift, it's a practice. The nightly review doesn't require special equipment, expensive coaching, or perfect circumstances. It requires 15 minutes and the courage to see yourself clearly. Marcus Aurelius didn't become the philosopher king by accident. Seneca didn't develop unshakable wisdom through luck. Epictetus didn't forge his mental strength through natural talent. They practiced every night, without exception, for years. You have the same day length they did, the same cognitive tools, the same choice. Examine your life or waste it. Here's what I want you to do immediately after this video ends. Get a notebook, not tomorrow, tonight. It doesn't need to be special. Any notebook works. Set a specific time for your review. Right now, decide when. Block it on your calendar if you have to. Treat it like an appointment you cannot miss. Tonight, answer the 6 questions. Even if you do it poorly, even if it feels awkward, the first repetition is always the hardest. Then do it again tomorrow and the day after, for 30 days minimum. After 30 days, you'll have the data to judge whether this practice serves you.
but you can't judge before then. The first week doesn't count. You're just establishing the pattern. The warrior path isn't about dramatic transformations in a single moment. It's about small, disciplined actions repeated with consistency until they reshape your entire character. The nightly review is one of those actions. Simple to understand, hard to maintain, transformative in effect. Tonight, while others collapse into unconsciousness, you'll sit with your day. You'll face what happened with clear eyes. You'll extract the lessons. You'll course correct. You'll grow. Tomorrow, you'll wake as a slightly different person, more aware, more disciplined, more aligned with virtue. And tomorrow night, you'll do it again and again and again. Until one day you look back and realize you're not the same person anymore. You've become the warrior you were always capable of being. The question isn't whether this practice works. Thousands of years of Stoic practitioners have proven that it does. The question is, will you do it? Your day is ending. Your choice is beginning. Train your mind. Conquer yourself. This is the warrior's method. This is how you process and improve. Now go practice it.